Hello everyone. So this is incredibly difficult for me to say because for a long while I thought I was right, but I was actually completely wrong about this. And in a lot of my videos, I've sort of mentioned this, and it is actually so obvious if you look at it in hindsight of Kokomi. But as a Kokomi main, it was not even obvious to me, even though I had some doubts about it. So I'm sorry to say this, and I'm really sorry to disappoint everyone, but Kokomi is not a mermaid. Kokomi is actually a dragon. And at this point, you might be like, well, where do you come up with this little crazy theory? Well, I went onto a little site called YouTube and I found a video, and this video is really, really interesting. So, the video on YouTube is called Is Kokomi a Dragon? And I think this is a very, very good video. It obviously explores some of the connections between Enkonomiya and Kokomi herself. And the big thing for me was this about the constellations. I thought this was like a little dolphin, but if you translate the Latin, and you can legitimately translate this on Google, this does mean sleeping dragoness. There's also a couple of other clues that sort of indicate that Kokomi is not just divine priestess by title, but there is actually a bit more weight to her title as given to her, which is really, really cool if you look at the entirety of how all these things fit together, as well as this sort of theme, like the purple and the blue lines. Again, the purple on the left, the blue on the right, very reminiscent of those Vishaps that you can see currently in Enkonomiya, which I think is really, really cool. So obviously you guys can go watch the video. It's obviously linked below. I actually like the theory. I'm actually going to fully buy it. If you don't buy it, that's perfectly fine. I think everyone's got like different interpretations, but for me, the fact that Kokomi looks like a mermaid doesn't fit so well with the evidence that Kokomi looks like a sort of variation of a dragon, which I think is so much cooler instead. Particularly, I play the Japanese version of Genshin Impact, and I've always felt that, well, apart from the fact that Japanese voices are good, and again, no shade on the English voice actors at all, I always felt that Kokomi's English voice is a bit too light. It's a bit too Barbara-ish in a certain sense, and I'm sorry for that comparison. But I thought that the Japanese was just like, it just fits the title, someone that's been like very unsure of themselves, and as the traveler we meet Kokomi at a point where she's matured a bit more. She's leading an army against the shogunate. That her voice in Japanese just sort of encapsulates a bit more of her maturity, and I think it fits well also with this idea that Kokomi could be like sort of a dragon more than like a mermaid, because a mermaid is, if you think of Ariel and all of that, she's just like light and fluffy, but with Kokomi there's a bit more gravitas there, and I think it really looks well. Also, the head, those little fins on her head, it always bothered me because it doesn't seem like very mermaid-like. It actually fits more of the stylistic theme of a dragon, and I think as well these little I don't know what you call it, like robes or things at the back of her costume, also fits like the idea of flowing through water, but it's almost more dragon-like in nature, if I can put it that way. It's like, again, it sounds completely stupid and weird, but it makes more sense if you look at it from this perspective than from the perspective that she's a mermaid. So what I'm gonna do, of course, in my videos from now on, is I'm just gonna call her the dragon priestess or the dragoness or whatever. So if you do get confused or whatever, or if you're sent to this video, at least you know now why I'm calling Kokomi what she is. And it's quite exciting. I think it fits the lore of Enkonomiya really well. It fits her character as well, and hopefully she can have quite a prominent role in the story going forward. I'm very excited to see sort of what Kokomi's true origin connection is. Also, just as a bit of an aside, I played a game in the past called Overwatch, and there was a character in that game called Mercy, and she had this like dragon skin that you can see on screen. And I absolutely loved the skin to a point that I only played this character and this skin. So for Kokomi to have like, or for it to be suggested that Kokomi has like these dragon sort of origins and roots, I really like it. It really, really sits well with me. But yeah, guys, that's just what I wanted to share. Let me know what you think down below.